up. Good. Teresa Williams' story. Jess. Many years ago, I helped teach a gorilla in DC how to breastfeed. I would nurse my son while she watched. We all bonded. It was a priceless experience. There will always have to be zoos, and some are good and some are bad. We have to acknowledge both and pray for a different worldwide way of knowing that what is good for the animals in the wild is good for man. There are many good zoos contributing to conservation. I mean, that was just phenomenal. I mean, you know, we learn from animals all the time. I'm so touched at this incredible experience this gorilla, because they are one of the most magnificent animals on the planet. Kathy Gallagher also said, so many interesting responses and websites to explore. It will be interesting to consider whether or not zoos and aquaria, wildlife breeding sites, etc. are helpful or harmful. I happen to believe that they're a good idea if done properly and if they provide excellent care, space and enrichment from the animals who would benefit from doing this. I mean, those are absolutely stunning responses, guys. And before I go any further, I must just say also a very big thank you to Patty Mulligan, Cheryl Payton, Mari Tau Kajian, hope I said your surname correctly, Carolyn Mook, and Kirsty Linus. Let me just see some of your comments that are coming in. This video has nothing to do with Western zoos. And then CJ Gildner says, so that first comment was from Mike Moss, and then CJ Gildner says, but we are not just talking Western world. You know, that's probably one of the primary points that I wanted to make to you guys. When I'm busy doing research, I come up with so many different things, and one of the challenges that I find is to illustrate things from multiple viewpoints. You know, I came up with a lot of articles, for example, about how there are various zoos in the US that come under constant criticism. I read about one zoo where I think it was the Buffalo Zoo, I'm not sure, where, you know, a hyena was trapped and killed under a rock, and the owners of various zoos are being brought to book. You need to actually find some kind of a balance here. Like anything in this world, one will find opposite extremes. But what we need to do as people that are supporting a very good potential ongoing conservation venture is to be aware of what constitutes something acceptable from not acceptable in these environments, and educating ourselves about it. You know, I think there's too many of these operators that get away with it just through the sheer entertainment factor of the wild animals, and it doesn't always work very well for me, I'm afraid. Phil says, some zoos are badly run and others do such good work. I mean, I completely agree with you. And you know, when it comes to conservation, that always seems to be the area that gets the dollar. And I tell you, some of these zoos just do amazing things with extremely limited funds. Just quickly running through my notes. Now, one of the things that I wanted to go back to is when I was doing this research, and again it relates to that tiger video. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have noticed that even though that video was shot in another country, there were Western people behind the camera. There were Western people that were going, woohoo, yeah, whoa. You know, what worries me is how do we change the mindset of not just the zookeepers who don't seem to find a problem with actually not doing healthy practices with animals, but also with changing the mindsets of people who go to zoos. The point of zoos nowadays is for us to learn how to engage with wildlife in a different way and to reconnect our souls with those living creatures that share the planet with us. I was quite sad to come across a number of websites where people actually pointed out stupid behavior from zoo visitors. Now, what do we do when we find other idiots occupying the same zoo space as us? Do you go up to them and do you say, hey, you know, stop throwing your cell phone in the pelican's cage or whatever it is? You know, how do we bridge that gap between people who maybe are not as connected with actually understanding things the same way we are? One of the things that really sort of interested me was this beautiful website. And the gentleman or lady, I can't remember now, that wrote it said, the other thing that bothers me at the zoo is the way people visiting it act. we ran into one of the more glaring examples of poor patron behavior when we saw the mirror lady. This is what they've called her. I don't know her real name, but I know her husband's. If you'll forgive me for the American accent, Artie, get over here! And it was constantly screamed by this obnoxious woman. If only she could have seen his eyes roll on one of these occasions, she probably would have had a bit of a fight with him if she'd seen. And basically what this lady tended to do is she used a mirror outside a chimpanzee's cage, and she was flashing it into this chimpanzee's eyes, trying to get a reaction out of it. Now, that makes me sad, because you've got these people that are there that are not actually understanding what they should be getting out of the zoo experience and what the zoo is ultimately offering them. So whilst there are zoos that are unhealthy in their practices, I think that, there's a lot of people out there that also need their mindsets changing. I don't have the answer with regards to how they do that, but I did note that that's one of the critical issues that needs to be addressed, is engaging with the way people think about these institutions. Many of us love them because they're beautiful, they're open spaces, it gives you a chance to be close to animals that inspire you and that feed your soul. But some people just don't get it. Maybe the zoos should have a volunteer service that roam around the zoos and overhear people's conversations, and maybe we should have other people to engage with them as opposed to just people walking around and maybe reading placards or something. It all depends on the zoo. And that was just an interesting sort of sideline that I picked up that I thought that I'd share with you, because it was something that struck me quite sort of firmly in my observation process. I'm sorry, Blue Planet, I don't know what your name is, but zoos for many people are the first place to introduce children to the wonder of wild animals. And I think that's probably one of the most exciting factors about zoos is watching how children react. Now, let me just scroll through some of my notes here quickly. What excites me, okay, is that there is a possibility of all zoos going in the best possible direction. And I saw this fantastic clip. You're talking about children now, and maybe this is the moment to play a clip number 2, which quite frankly got me feeling really, really warm and fuzzy on the inside. So without further ado, Pete, can you take it away, please? Can we have a look at clip number 2?
But there's still no place like home.
Even if a zoo animal's environment looks like home, it still needs opportunities to use its cunning,
Its hunting skills, its curiosity and instincts.
Animal behaviorists call these activities environmental enrichment.
Hi, I'm Dan Maloney, and I'm the general curator here at the Audubon Zoo. And that means I'm in charge of the animal department, and I oversee a great team of people who care for the animals on a daily basis. One of the things that they do for the animals is they provide environmental enrichment. And environmental enrichment is anything and everything that can help challenge an animal, that gives them an opportunity to do something that's more natural for them. The boomer ball is a big, giant cat toy. You can see here it was given to the tigers only 3 days ago. I'm going to try to make a scar with my knife. And as hard as I've tried to dig in there, I've only done a slight version of what their claws can do. Good luck. 1, 2, 3. Tigers are big, powerful animals. They spend much of their time hunting, and when they do subdue prey, they do it in a powerful way. This is such a big ball that they really have to devise a strategy to get it up on the island. But that's part of the fun. That's what environmental enrichment's all about. In the wild, hunting is rarely very easy. These are 2 white Bengal tiger brothers, King Rex and King Zulu. Rex has his prize right now, and he and his brother will wrestle for it probably throughout most of the day.
My name is Cindy Ratliff. I am a keeper in the primate section here at Audubon Zoo. I take care of all the primates, different animals on different days. Today, with the orangutans, we threw them t-shirts. A lot of the different things we give to them to try and keep them stimulated and let them play throughout the day. We try and give them things that are either easily destructible or indestructible. The t-shirts are something that can't really harm them. We often give them cardboard boxes and paper bags as well. They all have different personalities. There's some that just put them on just like a regular